There are many different ways for you to create thumbnails, and you'll find some of those videos here on this channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to create thumbnails very easily using a white wall, your camera, Adobe Premiere, and Photoshop. So if you're ready, let's jump right to it. First, let me show you what I'm working with here. I have this white wall right here, but I have these frames that I have to get out of the way. We're gonna go ahead and remove those, and I have this light here that I'm gonna use, and I'm gonna point it towards that wall. The reason why you wanna do that is because when you bring it into Photoshop, it's gonna allow me to change the background color and cut myself out much easier. So you want some sort of plain wall. Some people like to do a gray wall, some people like to do a green screen. Just with the white wall, you'll be able to do this right here in your home, your office, wherever you're at. What I like to do is I like to take video. So I'll be doing different poses. First thing you wanna do is you wanna get a good camera. Your phone will work just as fine. Most iPhones nowadays have amazing quality, or Samsung phones, not a Samsung guy. In this case, I'm using a Canon G7X Mark II. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on a tripod. The whole goal is to do different poses. I have my Canon G7X here on a nice tripod. I'm gonna point the light towards the wall, place myself as close as I can. While the video is recording, you'll do different poses. Think of the emotion that you're trying to exude in the video and go from there. So as you're doing this, you wanna make sure that the tripod is set to the right level and it's pointed directly at your face. So in this case, I have to make some adjustments on this one. Just something to think about. So we just finished shooting as many thumbnails as we could. Now it's time to bring it into Adobe Premiere, and I'm gonna show you how it's done. Let's start by getting the file from the SD card, and I have it right here. Then we're gonna bring it into Adobe Premiere. Now the video is now transferred to our desktop. Next, we're gonna go ahead and open up Adobe Premiere. We're gonna go ahead and click on New Project, and I'm gonna name this file Thumbnails for YouTube. Then I'm gonna grab the file that we just imported to the desktop. Boom, let's put it here. Drag that onto the timeline. We are going to just scan through the file. I'll have a lot of thumbnails that I can pick out of this because I did a lot of facial expressions, different emotions. So there goes one. So the way you do it is click on this icon here. It looks like a camera and it says export frame. So I'm just gonna go ahead and name this thumbnail_1. Click OK and look for other thumbnails. I like that one. Maybe let's move it up. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. Look, you're looking straight at the camera. You're smiling. This is definitely one that we can use. Click on the export frame icon, thumbnail 2. Let's just do a few more. I did a lot, like I said, I did a lot of facial expressions, but I just want to be able to kind of show you the process really quick. There goes another one, very similar. So let's look for something different. Just to recap, I brought the video onto Adobe Premiere, put it on the timeline, clicked on the export frame icon that looks like a little camera, exported 5 frames that I can bring now into Photoshop. We're gonna start putting a thumbnail together. You'll see the difference and how the thumbnail will pop. This is probably one of my favorite, newest processes when it comes to putting a thumbnail together. I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of Adobe Premiere. Now that I have these 5 thumbnails here, I'm gonna create a new folder and I'm gonna name it Thumbnails. Drag those files onto the thumbnails. We'll open up Photoshop. We're going to start bringing some of these files onto here. Here's an example of one that I did. Let's go ahead and start with the new one. And let's see if I find one that I like. Let me see here. Let's see what this looks like. That one's kind of cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring that into Photoshop. Let's do this one. Next, we're going to duplicate this layer. Now cut out this background, and the way you do that is you go to this section here and you click the magic wand tool, click on the gray area. Notice how it started to pick out those areas. So in order to be able to cut myself out, I'm gonna go ahead and click shift and click that wand tool in other areas. I'm gonna go ahead and reduce the tolerance to 15 and try it one more time, and now it kind of did it a little bit better. So I'll just click on these areas and look now, when I set the tolerance for the magic wand at 15, I was able to just separate it from the background. So in order to cut myself out, I'm just gonna go ahead and click the delete button. In order for me to be able to cut out, in this case, I have to rasterize the image, which allows me to edit it. And the way that I do that is by right clicking on my layer. I'm going to find the option that says rasterize this layer. That's it right there. Boom, I can now cut myself. So I'm just gonna click delete. And The reason why you still see a background here is because of this layer. You have a background layer. So if I click on the background layer now, go to the color overlay and just pick a different color. Notice how it's already chosen. This color overlay is chosen to the color gray right now. I can pick a different color like red. In this case, I'm kind of used to using the yellow. I kind of like the yellow, so I'm just gonna go ahead and click on that, click OK, and now look, I'm separated from the background. I want myself to stand out a little bit more. Click on my layer, go to image, go to adjustments. I can increase the brightness here, and notice how I'm just starting to pop out a little bit more. And at the same time, I can even move my image so that it's centered, so it's placed in a reasonable area. You want to put yourself either to the right or to the left. So I'm going to go ahead and select my layer, click on transform scale. That allows me to now increase the size of the image, and I can also move myself to the right or to the left. And you may notice that when you go to YouTube in the thumbnail, they're usually to the right and they take up as much space as possible. In this case, I feel that this is a good position. In this case, let's say that I'm putting a thumbnail together. It looks like I'm shocked, like, oh my God, like I figured something out. Now you can start thinking a little bit about what you want to put on the text. Increase this to 150. I'm going to type in I hacked. So that's gonna be one text. Transform it, scale it. Boom. I usually try to keep anywhere between 3 to 5 words max when it comes to a thumbnail. You don't want to have too much text, but you want to get straight to the point, enough for people to want to click on that video. And I usually use the bold font, so I'm going to search for the bold font. It's right here. Boom. I'm going to duplicate this layer. If I click on the selection option, notice how it just comes down. Now I'm going to change the word, YouTube. Do another one here. Duplicate layer. Boom. Got the selection tool, bring it here, and then I want to make sure that this actually so what you do is click on the layer, click on the color overlay, change the color to whatever you want, right? In this case I want white. Goal is to have a thumbnail that just really stands out, and I think this looks just about right. I kind of like the way that it looks, although I can mess around with the letters a little bit more. So let's see. Go ahead and search for a YouTube Shorts logo because it's about YouTube Shorts, right? So YouTube Shorts logo PNG is what you want to look for. Maybe this one. There you go. So this one's a little better. So I'm just gonna go ahead and save as, put it on my desktop, try to open it. Desktop right there, PNG. I'm gonna go ahead and just pick it out, select inverse, boom, copy it, bring it in. Put it right there, and then I'm going to transform scale to make sure that it this one I'm going to delete it, scale, transform. Now I feel that it stands out a little bit better. And that's as simple as it can get. You can continue to mess with it, make yourself pop out. As a matter of fact, let me show you how you would do that. Let's set an outer glow for myself, right? And we can spread that. We can make it a little bit stronger and just have yourself stand out a little bit more. So notice what's happening there. And that's how you put a thumbnail together. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.